All right. This is the Midwest Movement Podcast. I'm your co host, Andrew Ferris.
I'm Dylan Ferris.
And here we are. We're live. This is episode 1. We figured we'd come together, put together a podcast, pretty much outlining what the Midwest Movement is. And purpose of this, pretty much start a conversation, start a community, maybe a cult, see where it goes, right?
Fuck yeah, that'd be tight.
see what happens. But I mean, Midwest doesn't have any representation. Like, it's just one of those things that it's where we are.
We're the middle child.
We are the middle child. Actually, I am the middle child.
You are the middle child.
You're the baby.
Fuck yeah.
So,
well, yeah, we are brothers,
yeah,
by the way.
There is that.
If you didn't catch that from the names.
Yeah, no, names can mean anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of like gender now.
Yeah, gender
Mean
can mean
anything.
anything. It's a
Fuck
spectrum,
yeah.
so is time. Don't assume my time.
Don't assume your time. Don't assume my age.
Nothing. All right, so essentially this is going to be like, like I said, conversation, maybe some entertainment, some comedy, a little bit of everything.
Whatever you think we are, that's what we are, I guess.
Yeah, sure. We'll leave it open to interpretation, right? We're not going to put terms on this.
Fuck no.
It's like the best kind of relationship. Love you, baby.
No strings attached. Well,
But,
fuck. Well, today, what is the date? September 9th, I believe.
Something like that.
9th or 10th. Either way, it's opening season of football. Opening day. Well, at least the weekend. It started on Thursday, but nobody fucking counts that. But this is the actual first full day of football. We're actually watching right now. NFL Red Zone.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Not his cup of tea, but I'm enjoying myself.
I'll go along with it. I mean, it
Fuck
seems fun, seems interesting. I mean, I know, like, we have a huge. We were talking earlier about, we have a huge amount of Bengals fans being from Ohio.
Right.
So,
naturally.
like, Southern Ohio. So, the worst thing about them is that there's just too many in one local area.
And they're assholes. Like, I'm not, dude, if you've ever been to an NFL, I can't speak for, like, any other teams, but, like, the Cincinnati Bengals, like, if you're actually down there at the game, their fans are fucking ludicrous. Like, especially when they're drunk. If they're down there tailgating and they're going to the game, they're being dicks in the stadium if you're not rooting for their team.
You
Now,
think that's just a football
see,
thing?
I really, it probably is. Like, I don't think it's, unique to Cincinnati, but at the same time, I do know that Cincinnati fans are still assholes.
Wasn't Ohio State like one of those college campuses where people were flipping cars after like a championship was won?
Oh, dude, pretty much
Burning
any
couches.
city that has not had, a dominant reign of championships like throughout years, they're flipping cars. Like, I mean, fuck,
But
what
Ohio
was it?
State wins all
Dude,
the time, right?
No, last year Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, and yeah, they were flipping cars. What was it? I want to say it was one of the hotels. I want to say it was the Ritz, but I'm not sure. They fucking like caved in the awning because they were on top of it. Like, but that's just Philly. Like, Philly's fucking off their rocker.
I think like that's one of the things, like East Coast and West Coast, like they're either like geared one way or
Yeah.
another. Like they're super rowdy, or
I think
it's like the two extremes. Like
I
they're
honestly
super
think
rowdy,
the East Coast
super laid
is
back.
just fucking nuts. Like,
You
that.
think the East Coast is?
I think they
Yeah.
are. Like, that's just a different breed. Like, when you think about Philly, Baltimore, New York, like, it's Jersey. Like,
It's a lot of people in
yeah,
one
and
place.
they're fucking
Very
they're
close
crazy.
proximity.
Yeah, like, shit can go south real fast.
Yeah. I mean, I always have the conversation with people about being like from the Midwest because like you said, we're the middle child. Like we
Yeah,
get
fuck
people
yeah.
make
Nobody
so
thinks
many
about us.
memes about us. Like it's become like a very comedic thing to like poke at
But
the
at the
Midwest.
same time, the Midwest, like, I feel like it's just a very blue collar place. Like, this is where a lot of fucking work gets done for this country.
Oh yeah, like the back labor.
Yeah,
the
absolutely. The
backbone.
shit
Oh, for
nobody else
sure.
wants to do.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
not as glorious as New York and LA. It's not
It's not glitz
software
and glam.
companies. Shit. It's factories and hard physical labor. That's pretty much what we have out here.
For sure.
That's what makes us like the type of people we are, I guess.
We have the best contributions to
I
society.
think we do. I really do. Like,
Oh,
I
yeah,
mean,
for sure.
Think about all the freight that gets moved. Like, shit you wouldn't be getting what you are if it wasn't for all the fucking hard work and, how many truck drivers are in the fucking Midwest, dude?
A lot.
There's
That's why
every
they
time
hate
you get on
Elon
the
Musk.
highway, dude, nothing but semis, I feel like most of the time.
That's why they hate Elon Musk. He's going to put him out of work. They're taking his jobs.
Maybe it's not the Democrats they need to be worried about. It's Elon Musk.
Nah. I mean, I don't think anybody needs to be worried about Elon Musk at this point.
Nah, man. So he smoked a little bit of weed. He's all right. He's still a smart dude. Like,
Dude, he's still trying to colonize Mars. Let's
like,
go. Let's
down.
go. I want a second Midwest, and I want it on Mars. Let's make it happen.
They discovered a body of water on Mars too.
Really?
Yep. Like an actual large-sized body of water.
We're claiming it right now. That's the first Great Lake on Mars.
Let's go.
Those are all ours.
Lake Elon.
Lake Elon. Let's make it happen. We can name it now.
Lake Musk just doesn't have such a nice ring to it.
I don't know. It might. Like, think
would you want to go for a swim in Lake Musk?
Would I?
Sounds
Yeah,
kinda
I think
gross.
if I was in 100,000 years or whatever from now, if there's life like colonization on Mars, yeah, for sure.
Who's to
I
say
don't.
there's not already?
Right, for sure. And then in which case, I don't know what would happen. What do you think would happen if we
Oh,
got
he
out
just
there?
missed that field goal. Ah, shit. A minute left in the game, and the Chargers kicker missed a field goal when they're down by 10. That was their last fucking chance. Anyway, sorry to
think so?
derail that, but yeah, they're fucked now. They don't have the ball anymore, and there's only a minute left. That's game.
No, you're good. So no, what I was saying was like in 100,000 years or whatever, if we've colonized Mars, and I think our scope of life, what we understand, and like how we perceive things will be dramatically different. So if I, as a young child, was born into a world on Mars, I really wouldn't think that Lake Musk would be.
Yeah, I mean, without the...
Yeah, so like I wouldn't
But
put
now
those
we're just
parameters.
dissecting a really shitty joke I made.
Okay. Make better jokes.
I guess I'll
Goddammit.
have to.
No,
Damn.
I got you. But no. So I've been thinking about because obviously, I mean, it's big news. Like, there's been a
absolutely.
lot of big news this past week. But the big news about Elon Musk would, he smoked weed on the Joe Rogan.
Yeah, on Joe Rogan's show.
Yeah,
And his stock fell.
and his stock fell. So
What the fuck?
So
First of all, that like podcast is recorded in California.
Yeah, where it's
California
legal.
does not care if you smoke weed.
right.
But the people that donate to the Tesla company and everything else,
They're investors,
apparently-
man. They want a return.
What the fuck does smoking weed with your buddies have to do with how well you can run a company? Like,
Right. Absolutely nothing.
I just
But
don't get
like
that.
the bigger point that he was talking about, like in the podcast, which I feel like is getting overshadowed, was the fact that AI is becoming like more of a thing that people are trying to do, and his like grand fear of AI and like machine dominating man, and it's like a potential realistic threat that could potentially happen. So I got to thinking, like, what is the best possible case you could think of if an AI got created and it went rampant, it did its thing. Like,
Well,
the
I
AI
guess
is
that's why he invented those flamethrowers. I mean, we could probably just torch the motherfuckers. They're probably not made of anything too crazy. They'll melt.
So here we go, right? You ready?
All right.
So this AI, it ends up implanting itself into one of these fucking robots at Boston Dynamics. Now they're out in the streets with machine guns terrorizing people. What do we do? How do we stop it? What contingencies are in place?
I guess if, he is, artificially intelligent, then and he is in the U.S., then I guess that's his Second Amendment right. I mean, he can have machine guns. Who am I to say he can't?
So
I mean, I don't know about the killing part.
Okay.
But
Okay. So here, check it out. So the AI gets himself a body, right?
Yeah.
How does he get citizenship?
pass the test. I mean, fuck, dude.
He already has all the answers, but
They didn't say you can't be a robot. Like,
he
they
doesn't
just-
have a social. Do we get him? We get him a social, right?
Well, yeah, but I mean, with any immigrant that comes over here legally, they don't start with a U.S.
No,
social.
he was made here. He was made in America. So now what? Is he a citizen?
I guess that's up to the creators. I mean, they're the ones that's supposed to file that paperwork.
What if he wants to run for president?
Oh, no, can't do it. Nah,
Why not?
sorry, can't do it.
Why would we not let the robot?
Well,
run for
actually, I mean, that
president?
might actually make more sense because he doesn't have those, human sensibilities.
No, he does. He's sentient. He can make discernible decisions. He can create he or she it. This robot, I don't know what. I don't even know how to classify. But anyways,
I'm not concerned Hillary Clinton isn't a robot. She kind of fucking acts like
You
it.
don't believe in the lizard theory?
No, I definitely do. Are you kidding me? Lizard
The
people? Fuck yeah,
Anunnaki?
they are. Fuck yeah. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
All over. Especially in politics. Mostly in politics.
Metaphorically or legitimately?
I'm like
You think they're
30% legitimate, 70%. 30-70, I'm going to say.
Yeah. The other day, not to switch gears too abruptly, but that's what I'm gonna do.
All right.
The other day, yesterday actually, man, time flies. Yesterday, my girlfriend was bringing in water from the back of the truck, and she was like, "Hey, it's raining out. The water is wet." And I'm like, and I looked at her like dead face, and I'm like, "Water's always wet." And then it dawned on me that we exist in a time where simultaneously there's a guy talking about the fact that artificial intelligence could take over humanity as a whole, but people are actually debating whether or not water is wet. In the same world, both of these things currently exist.
We've got better things to do. I'm sorry, but
Flat Earth.
Look,
water is wet.
the smart people make the smart robots. They handle all those big problems. We're just the simpletons. We discuss the important things, like is water wet, for instance, and everything else. I mean, like, why should we subject ourselves to trying to figure out shit? Like, if we can make something that can handle small remedial tasks, then why not? I mean, now, if they become self-aware and shit, that's a whole nother story. But, I mean, I imagine, well, at least I hope, that the people that are making those things have some way of programming them to not become self-aware.
Well, see, like that's the thing, like, and this is where things get really weird because you have like morals and ethics that people are bringing into science. Like, there's like a board of directors for like morals and ethics of the community of science, right. And like whether or not this thing, like, just because we can do it, should we?
Oh,
and
dude,
so like
nobody is like that needs to be policed, I feel like, because I've read some fucking weird articles of what people have done, like trying to grow humans and like fake embryos, basically, like trying to grow a human child without another human, like shit like that.
You mean like playing God kind of thing?
Basically,
yeah.
I don't think we should fuck with life at all, like whether that's bringing life into the world or taking life.
Really?
You would
find
death penalty. Okay, like that.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't think, dude. I don't know if you've read any stories, but with lethal injection, there have been so many cases of it going wrong.
Right.
Like,
and the people suffer as they die.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, and
absolutely.
It takes them 45 minutes to die when it's supposed to take 6 minutes or some shit. Like, yeah. Like, I don't think humans need to be, tampering with life.
Are you familiar with like CRISPR?
CRISPR, I'm not.
Okay, so CRISPR-Cas9 system is this. It's a gene editing organism. It was discovered in bacteria, and essentially what it does is on a like molecular structure, it can rewrite DNA. So you can program it essentially to go after specific types of DNA,
right,
and remove that DNA. So with sickness and health, like, you can pretty much utilize this thing as a bypass for certain chain links of DNA. Because you know how like your DNA is that like swirly thing. So it goes on there, and then it can remove certain of the code of
Right,
DNA,
right.
and then write in something else in place of it. So you can legitimately like use it to, and yeah, this is where like the whole ethics thing comes into play because
Right.
it's very controversial right now. In Europe, they're actually their board of ethics is like, yeah, maybe we shouldn't utilize this for like
How could something
GMO.
like that not fuck you up?
Okay, so
Like,
so here's the thing, because like if you so yeah, right now it's not anywhere near the stage of like human trial or anything like that. Currently, they recently discovered it. It's like within a recent amount of time. I want to say like maybe a couple years they've known about it, and it was discovered accidentally. So they found this thing, and now it's kind of like, oh, we have this. What do we do with it? What can we do with it? And just because we can do it, like that's where the whole ethics thing comes in. We can use this on humans. We can rewrite human DNA. We can create we can create embryos where people essentially can, like, the possibilities of it. I'm not saying this is like something people are actually discussing, but it is something that's possible. So the you can take it and pretty much like make designer babies. You can customize like the genetics of an embryo.
I would love a Gucci brand baby.
So I mean, you would be able to, like, in the future, if this thing, like, if people decide to use it, you would be able to do that if you have the money to do so, because obviously it would be very
Right.
expensive. So Europe is like, hey, let's hold off. Like, let's not even implement this in food. Let's not change the way our food grows so that, this particular plant can grow in this climate, or, whatever. Like, it needs this sort of nutrient in the soil versus this one, and we can rewrite that to be like whatever we want. So they're like, let's not even hold off. China's like, you know what? Fuck you guys. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start implementing this starting now.
Because
So,
China doesn't give a fuck.
China doesn't. It's interesting because like the culture is completely different. So I mean, it's some of the things that we would deem unacceptable, they deem acceptable. But it's highly fascinating, and in the name of science, I'm really intrigued as to what it will yield in the
I'm a
future.
huge fan of science until they start doing some goofy shit.
Goofy shit
They,
like what?
They're always doing some goofy shit. I can't think of any specific examples, but they're always up to something.
Are you talking about like over in Scandinavia where they're creating the black hole?
Basically, yes, that.
That sort of shit.
Bingo. That's the one.
That's why the Midwest is the best.
That's right. We don't have fucking robots coming to life or people trying to change our DNA.
We just grow the corn.
We do.
We GMO
We
it sometimes.
we grow it natural. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of pesticides and shit, I'm sure.
Oh, for sure.
I'm not a farmer, but
But we also like you said about being the backbone of the country, like the Midwest, like we supply the corn for the rest of the country.
fuck yeah,
Like
we do.
So all these Priuses on, the east and west coast, they all run on us.
all you yuppies.
So y'all can talk shit. But KFC,
KFC, fuck yeah.
we're
Actually,
taking Kentucky. Yeah, it's not technically part of the census of
Yeah.
the Midwest, like, the way the government, but government doesn't
they,
really matter.
They
in
are
this.
the adopted middle child.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Not quite as good as being the middle child, I mean, which can be pretty bad, but, they're also adopted on top of it.
Hell yeah.
Kentucky breeds some pretty crazy people as well.
Yeah,
But they've
I think Kentucky.
Kentucky's very weird depending on like Louisville's awesome. I love Louisville, but pretty much anything else in Kentucky is very weird.
Yeah, I see
to me.
pictures all the time from like local groups kind of things. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I saw this recently, like shit posting kind of groups.
Right.
And there was one where it was a dude driving a riding mower down the street, and he had like a little cart attached to the back of it, and his son was sitting in the back.
God.
And, it's just one of those
That
things.
had to have been Boone County. Had to.
I mean, people don't really have much to do. They don't have much means out that way.
Oh fuck no.
Yeah, so
There's a lot of tobacco fields down there.
yeah, but the crazy thing about tobacco fields is that in order to get a tobacco field, you pretty much have to inherit it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they don't give out new certifications.
I was gonna
to
say
grow
there's a
tobacco.
whole lot of certifications that you got to get to
Yeah, they
be
don't
able to run
and,
something like
and
that.
they don't give them out.
Oh,
They
fuck
because
no.
it's so heavily regulated. But I mean, yeah, it's the crazy thing. Like, you can grow as much corn as you want. Hopefully, here soon, you'll be able to grow as much weed as you want.
Yeah.
And but
I think,
tobacco, it's a different animal.
I think California, I think you're allowed to have 6 plants.
See, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I mean, they have those really interesting machines though now, where it's like you can have them anywhere because they're sealed chambers.
Right.
It looks like a mini fridge, but you put your seeds into it, and then that has like fillable chambers for water, and it hydrates it and keeps it at a certain atmosphere to where it's conducive to growth. So you can grow it like in your home. Like you could just have this fridge in there, put your seeds in, and grow your own plants at home anywhere. Where it's legal. Like I guess it's recreationally, or if
Yeah.
whatever the state says you can grow, you can grow. So you could technically get it and grow it yourself, which awesome.
All right.
Being self sufficient is always a good thing.
Enough about corn and robots and
And
shit.
weed.
Let's get into this week's beef. MGK and Eminem.
Yeah.
You don't have to mention G-Eazy in that, by the way. He's irrelevant. But MGK and Eminem. So, what's your take on the whole situation?
My personal perspective,
2 Midwest rappers, by the way.
yeah,
Cleveland versus Detroit. Even though MGK is from Houston, he moved to Cleveland.
yeah,
at a
that's
young
that's
age.
what he kind of like,
He adopted.
as he would say, like he
claims
put it on his
Cleveland.
back. Yeah,
Yeah.
he put Cleveland on his
Basically.
back. So
Did you hear Eminem's full diss track? I heard
didn't-
most of it.
I did not listen to it.
Yeah,
I
It wasn't very great.
I kind of like when I was younger, I kind of switched gears on what I listened to. Like I was huge into hip hop until I was about 12, 13ish, and then I kind of switched gears and went more towards like the metal, like the screamo back then.
Right.
Went through the emo phase. But like that's one of the things, like I stopped listening to Eminem around that time. Like I would periodically like listen, like if he released a new album,
Right.
and then it just got to a point
This
where
was during like the recovery.
no, this was
era.
this is pre-recovery.
Pre-recovery,
Yeah, so I
okay.
think Curtain Call was the
Right.
like last big album, and then he took I want to say he took a hiatus for a little bit, and then came back, and then he had that like recovery or relapse or whatever the discography, like the order of operations was with that. But so I stopped listening to him after that, and I don't feel like I missed out on much, like just based off of, and I'm not saying this because I dislike him or anything like that. I'm just saying, like, from what I understand, they just weren't what people had expected, and they weren't like what he had been producing before, because, and I think that's in part because of his struggle, because like apparently based off the name of the albums and kind of what I understood from, his situation of what I've seen, is that like he got a drug problem and
Right.
like had to kick it, or had just bad habits in general, whatever. And that was part of his struggle. And I think those albums came a little bit too soon. If he would have had those albums maybe a few years later, he would have, because I mean drugs are a huge fucking problem now.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
heroin is like insanely toxic.
Ooh. I'm gonna cut you off right there. Panthers versus Cowboys. Luke Kuechly is down. He's actually from like 10 miles away from here. He went to
Oh, really?
Springboro High School.
Really?
Yep, he is injured on the field right now. Looks like he's crying, honestly.
Yeah. He looks like he'll be all right.
Right.
Ooh,
No.
his ankle's kind of twisted.
Now
maybe.
with the whole Eminem thing, I see what you're saying. Like I honestly feel like he basically wrote all of his music as his life went on. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
his early music was about fuck you mom,
That-
all this shit.
That mentality is why the hip hop game is the way it is. And if you look at it, guys get record deals. They're in the hood when they're making records. They've got their community support, and then they get a shit ton of money, and then eventually they go up in classes in the world, and then they lose that connection to what made them real and raw to people. And that just goes towards like how I said, like the Eminem like recovery relapse kind of time frame. If that would have been his music, like he's got a big enough platform. If that would have been his music when like this whole like heroin epidemic thing
Right.
was kind of hitting its peak, then I think he would have had like a better foothold there. And I think he's just not with the times. So essentially he's kind of washed up, in my
Yeah.
opinion. Like he's out of it. And I think like it's something that happens when you get older. You just kind of like,
Yeah.
you become more honed in on yourself and like whatnot. and so it's I think for like what he's trying to do, it's good. Hip hop beef is always good.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
always fantastic.
Diss
But
tracks are awesome.
oh yeah, for sure. I absolutely love diss
See,
tracks.
with Eminem, I fell off the Eminem train after like 8 Mile. Like for me, I
Such a good
feel
movie though.
see it was, but I feel like he made his music about his struggles in his early years, and he built that
And he
like
lost
as
struggle.
his yeah, like and
Yeah.
he lost that struggle, so he lost the real passion from where his music was coming from. Not that he lost his passion for music necessarily, but what made him like what he wanted to rap about was no longer there.
The
And that
shit
might
that
have
people
been
were
why he
telling
turned to
him,
drugs,
yeah,
maybe,
the
you know?
the shit that people were telling him he shouldn't be rapping about
Right.
in his early career. Um, but yeah, like that totally makes sense.
I mean,
I
he's still one of the greatest of all time for sure.
Oh yeah,
Like, I mean,
absolutely.
you can't deny all of his early shit that he put out was
Oh yeah, dude.
amazing. But yeah, he should not be coming back now trying to
I think
bury rappers.
yeah, I think that well, and that's the other thing is like he could try to do whatever he wants. Like
Right.
he's go for it. Like
He's
all
got the
the
money to put out whatever
you've
music
got
he
all the
wants
money and
to.
all the credentials to do whatever you want to do in the hip hop game.
Right.
But when it's like UFC, which we love to watch. When you call someone out, you want to be pretty confident that you can defeat them.
Oh, not
You
pretty confident. You need to fucking know.
Yeah, like you want to be reassured
If
within
you don't
your
believe
yourself.
that you can fucking dismantle this person, don't try it. Like if you have even a shred of doubt, don't go for it.
Yeah. So, and I think like that's one of the things. Like he may have been completely confident in his fact, but there's that time where even when you call somebody out and you get what you're asking for or what you're expecting, that what you got in return is so much more. And I think that with like the whole MGK thing, I think Eminem expected him to come back in force, but I think that he wasn't expecting people to kind of rally around MGK as much.
Oh yeah, no, I've definitely seen a lot more support for MGK than I expected.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Eminem, like he's fantastic. They're both fantastic
Right.
guys. Like they're both fantastic musicians in my opinion. So it's cool to see that. But I want to see where it goes from here. Like
Oh yeah.
supposedly, Bizarre was on Twitter saying that you don't want to get Eminem fired up. I've heard an interview with the game where he was saying pretty much the same thing. He was like, everybody knows, not to mess with that man.
Right.
And that was like years ago, like because apparently him and the game had some sort of falling out because business or whatnot, whatever the case may be. But like I think it's interesting to see where it goes from here because that's kind of like MGK is kind of the prodigy, like he said. Like he is this second wave of what Eminem was back in the day,
Right.
and his community of people that like him, they fucking love him.
Oh yeah.
And that's the thing. He's
That
got a platform. It's not as big and he's not as well known, but at the same time, like he can make a big enough splash that it'll ripple and butterfly effect out.
right. So what's interesting to me is they're honestly two very similar people. Like they're from the Midwest. They came up on very hard times. Both struggled, with relationships with their parents. Both had substance abuse problems. I mean, and they're very similar, but like it's weird that they have this kind of war going on. But I don't know. It could just be to get extra plays, to get headlines, to be trending online. Whatever their motives for doing it are. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely something that's going to be fun to watch as it unfolds. Um, but I mean it's interesting to see, you know, what exactly is going to come of it. Eminem's teased already a clapback, but we'll see. I mean it's been what, a week now?
Yeah, something like that. I think it's yeah, a little over a week that Kamikaze was released.
Yeah. So, well, yeah. Came out on a Friday,
Yeah.
which is weird. Surprise album.
Yeah, it was a surprise album,
Him and his
actually.
girlfriend Nicki Minaj.
Nah, they're not together.
They're not.
Nah, there was a whole thing
It
going
was a
on.
hoax.
So yeah, well, no, it wasn't even a hoax.
It was fake news.
It was somebody. I think Nikki had confirmed it, and then like 3 days later, there was like a new interview with her that she was like, "No, I'm single," just kind of doing me basically. So I don't know. I thought that relationship was hilarious to begin with.
Fuck it, we
though.
live in hookup culture. It's okay. You can't objectify anyone. They're two consensual people. It's the way everybody should live, though. Who are you to say, right?
Right.
Who am I to say?
I don't want to get into anyone's business.
Right. Hell yeah.
They handle their own affairs.
Me too. So, you enjoy politics a little bit, but
I wouldn't say I enjoy it.
I enjoy.
I feel
fuck
it's
out
my
of it.
duty as a citizen to be involved.
So we've yeah. I mean, it is. It's your yeah. It's a duty.
It's my future. It's my
it's-
children's future. Wow, what a touchdown!
That was pretty cool.
The Dolphins.
I don't
Come
even
on.
like this game, and that was pretty cool.
What a throw.
So here's my question for you. So my favorite thing about politics, hands down, is the scandals.
Oh, fuck yeah.
I think TMZ would run the best political channel ever. If that exists, I want to see it. But
Well, it's just Vice now.
yeah. Well, I
That's
mean,
basically TMZ for politics.
fuck yeah. I mean, Vice is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But so here's the thing. In the future, we got robots already, right? So what do you think the political scandals will be in the future? Knowing the generation of people that's existing right now.
Somebody's going to get a fucking blowjob from a robot like Bill Clinton, Monica Lewinsky, but with robots.
Do you see France just opened their first sex doll brothel?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Dude, like, it's
The
future's
French are
now.
weird, dude.
I mean, speaking of blowjobs, there we go. I mean, that's their contribution to the world. But I'm sure France creates a lot of good stuff.
French fries.
Yeah, freedom fries.
Freedom fries.
Freedom fries. George Bush changed that, by the way. We had problems with the French when he was in office, and he said, "Fuck you guys, freedom fries." That's how you get things done.
My favorite political scandal is when George Bush got hit with that shoe.
He dodged both of them.
Oh, yeah, he did actually.
He dodged both.
That
of
was
them.
that. Yeah, I actually do remember that now. That was a quick reflex too.
I feel like
Didn't the dude yell Allahu Akbar as well?
I don't think so. He might have. I know he yelled something.
Maybe
and
that's
then-
just one of my fantasies. Just like that would be hilarious.
Yeah, I mean that's
A terrorist
typically
attack with a shoe.
shoe bomber.
Shoe by actually, yeah.
Yeah, it's happened.
Damn.
It's
Some
been
creative motherfuckers out there.
right. It's been a thing. But no, like imagine political scandals in the future. Like what kind of weird shit people are into now? Like eating ass is normal. Like that's a normalized thing.
It's normal in my household.
but that's what I'm saying. Like you go back 10 years, it's like the transition from like what was it the 80s to the 90s. Like somewhere in there, the bush disappeared,
Yeah.
and we've never it's never come back.
Yeah, it's very scarce.
So now we're flipping. We're just keep pushing that line. Like all right, we got to eat each other's assholes now. Like that's it's.
So
the
in
next
10
thing.
years, what's the next weird sex thing?
Yeah, and what political guy?
And
in
how
30
does that
years,
tie into politics?
Because like okay, so sexting,
Politicians fuck?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I doubt it. They don't act like it.
They fuck all of us citizens. What do you
yeah,
mean?
that's true.
No lube, no rubber. Like fuck these guys. All right. So, anyways, so politicians are like, well, dude, politicians mostly. Like, I'm not being sexist. Like, it's just like it's a stat. Dude, politicians are fucking weird guys. Well, I
think
mean,
men are
the
just
ones
weird.
the ones that end up in scandals. Like they're always like Anthony Weiner. Like this dude, sexting was a thing, and this guy's like, I'm sending everybody my contact list a dick
Fuck
pic
yeah,
right now.
he is. And with a name like Anthony Weiner, you got to.
Right? So it's like so sexting came around, and then this guy was like, all right, I'm doing it. And then like
Holy shit, this is the second kickoff return for a touchdown we've seen like in the past 15 minutes. First it was the Dolphins, now it's the Titans.
At what point can you
And this
can you
is
just quit? Can you back
yeah,
out?
this is the same fucking game.
Yeah. At what point can you throw in the towel? I mean,
Oh,
it's
fuck no, dude. This is such a close game, and there's still 10 minutes left.
it's
It looked like the Dolphins were running away. They were up 14. Now it's like a one-possession game.
oh, okay. So was the Dolphins the one that scored last time, and now it's
Yeah, they ran
Oh,
that. It
okay,
was like
okay,
a
so it's
103-yard kickoff return.
right.
Now fucking, I want to say Malcolm Jennings fucking just took one like 90 yards.
what are the teams?
The Tennessee Titans and the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. I always like to associate sports
I'm-
teams with bread.
I am with timeout with bread. Oh,
The Texas toast,
the Texas toast.
always.
All
It's the
right.
best kind of garlic bread, by
I'm
the way.
determined to get you into football.
Yeah, I don't know.
All right, what's your bread comparison for the Cowboys and the Panthers?
Cowboys and oh man, you can't put me on the spot.
I
Thought
can't.
has to go in this.
The Croissant Boys.
There we go. Flaky and buttery, rolled up and doughy. No, okay, so like Cincinnati is the Cincinnati bread legs.
Perfect.
Yeah,
I love it.
the Cincinnati bread legs.
Bread
I actually,
legs.
yeah, bread legs.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody in the Midwest, like, we love to eat. So, like, I think that's a general consensus. Like, we have we have so many
I'll
restaurants.
tell you who loves to eat. The city of Houston. They're the fattest city in the fucking country.
Are they?
Oh fuck
Is
yeah,
it-
they are. They've been voted the fattest city in the country for like 2 years running, I want to say. But fucking Texas, dude, they like, I don't know what it is. They're big.
Everything's bigger in Texas, they say.
Fuck yeah.
It's a real thing. They say people are nicer out here, though.
In the Midwest?
In the Midwest, yeah, they say that.
I believe it. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, we are a very like homely people. Like we're very.
Homely means ugly. I don't feel myself as ugly.
How does homely mean ugly?
Homely's ugly. You don't like when you describe a person as homely or a people as homely. Like I'm pretty sure
See, I see it as more like inviting and welcoming.
we're more courteous, hospitable.
There we go.
There
I'll
we
take
go.
that. I'll take it.
Fucking call me homely asshole.
Homely asshole.
Homely asshole.
Oh.
But so yeah, I don't know. We're just the Midwest is the best.
Fuck yeah, we are.
The Midwest movement.
I think that's a good note to end this. The
Yeah, you
Midwest
think so?
movement, man. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, this is just kind of like a get to know you episode. I feel like in the future we're gonna do a lot of kind of some politically charged things, some community based talks, but
Yeah.
I'm
so-
looking forward to it. Like, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, like I said earlier, like, and I meant it, like, what this wants to, what I want this to be, what I want this to become, like, and I think both of us, like, can agree to this, is it's like, we want to build a community. Like,
yeah,
part of being part of a community is like starting a conversation, and if it's something as simple as like having a podcast, and I know like if we grow this like the way we want to, we can have guests on, we can
Yeah.
get a lot more perspectives, we can talk about things and like kind of open up a dialogue about what's going on, or not necessarily in particular places, but just everywhere it has problems, right?
Right.
Like the Midwest has a lot of fucking problems.
Oh, yeah.
And so I mean,
and we're the middle child. We're forgotten about, man.
yeah,
We need
so-
to address those problems.
For sure. I mean, and I think that's one of those things. It's like, it's a movement. Like we want to push forward. We want to be out there changing the world.
Yeah.
Because we absolutely can. But yeah, so
You don't know if you don't try.
absolutely. We're going to fucking give it our all.
Let's go.
So, yeah.
I'm Dylan,
I'm Andrew.
and that was the Midwest Movement.
Yeah, thanks for joining.